In a world cluttered with information, where truth is power, Lawin Weekly News stands apart.
We delve deeper, uncover facts, and bring stories to light. From political showdowns and economic triumphs to the pulse of the street and the heart of the community.
We capture the moments that define us, stories that challenge, inspire, and transform.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
These are Lawin headlines for this week. Gun rights fight. Paxton sues Dallas over theater firearm policies. Texas House passes Audrey's law to fix sex offender registry loophole. A protest targets immigration enforcement. Threats to school funding. Dallas school shooter was let in by student before opening fire, affidavit says. Escudero urges public. Don't believe claims that the PH future is black. Zelensky accuses China of supplying arms to Russia. Philippine consulate kicks off 2025 outreach in Baton Rouge. French Open sets stage for special Rafael Nadal tribute. Nora Honor died from acute respiratory failure, son Ian de Leon shares.
I am Neska, and tonight we bring you the latest stories in the United States of America, especially in the state of Texas. So sit back, relax, and let Lawin Weekly News be your guide to the news that matters most. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has initiated legal action against the city of Dallas, asserting that the city's ban on handguns at Fair Parks Music Hall and the Majestic Theater contravenes Texas law. The Attorney General contends that this restriction violates state legislation that governs the rights of licensed handgun carriers in Texas. The legal documents related to these lawsuits are accessible for public viewing, as noted by the Texas Attorney General's office. Last year, Paxton filed a similar lawsuit against Dallas for prohibiting licensed gun holders from carrying firearms at the State Fair of Texas. In his statement, Paxton emphasized the importance of adhering to state laws regarding gun rights and the illegality of establishing gun-free zones without proper legal jurisdiction. He accused Dallas of overstepping its authority by imposing these bans at the public performance venues. In previous statements, Dallas officials have maintained that the bans are in place to ensure public safety at large gatherings and events. The city has not yet issued a new response to the recent lawsuits filed by Paxton. The Texas House unanimously passed House Bill 2000, known as Audrey's Law, on Wednesday to close a loophole in the state's sex offender registry. The bill is named after Audrey Cunningham, an 11-year-old girl from Livingston who was murdered last year. The legislation, if approved by the Texas Senate, aims to enhance the accuracy and comprehensiveness of the sex offender registry. The law intends to ensure that all relevant information about sex offenders is available to the public and law enforcement agencies. The bill's passage in the House comes after a year of advocacy from Audrey's family and community members. Members of the Texas House have expressed their commitment to protecting children and preventing similar tragedies. University of Houston students and professors gathered on campus on Monday to protest against immigration enforcement and threats to educational funding. The protesters carried handmade signs with messages calling for a reassessment of policies that they believe could threaten the funding and safety of students. The University of Houston administration was not immediately available for a comment on the protest. The event is part of a series of actions by students and faculty advocating for policy changes in higher education. Authorities have not reported any incidents or arrests related to the protest. University security monitored the event, ensuring the safety of participants while facilitating their right to protest. The protesters dispersed peacefully after several hours on campus. The Texas Senate has approved the transfer of the University of Houston Victoria to the Texas A&M University system. Senate Bill 2361 proposes that governance, control, and management of the university, including its land and property, move from the University of Houston system to Texas A&M. The transfer, if finalized by the Texas House and Governor, will rename the university to Texas A&M Victoria by September 1, 2025. This transition aims to serve the petrochemical and agricultural industries in the region and will not affect current students or employees at the University of Houston Victoria. The proposed law marks a significant change in administration, expanding Texas A&M's reach and making the campus its 12th university. Local support for the transfer includes backing from Victoria Mayor Dwayne Crocker.
Hello po dyan sa mga taga-Texas. Nandyan po kami ni Desa sa June 14 at meron po kaming show sa Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center on June 14. So, nandyan po ang mga detalye below sa ating poster and I hope to see you soon, guys. See you sa June 14.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
The Central Texas Food Bank will lose $5.5 million in funding from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, affecting its ability to provide meals to those in need. The USDA's recent cuts have canceled 396 food deliveries to Texas food banks, risking nearly 12 million pounds of food valued at $19 million for emergency assistance. The Central Texas Food Bank will lose a total of 761,000 meals due to these cuts. The East Texas Food Bank also faces funding cancellations valued at $750,000. The USDA has additionally canceled funding for the Local Food Purchase Assistance Cooperative Agreement Program. Federal nutrition programs account for 90% of the food needed for food-insecure households in Texas. Texas ranks 49th in food security in the United States. A student at a Dallas high school helped a teenager enter the building just before he opened fire, injuring 5 people, according to an arrest affidavit released by authorities. The shooting occurred shortly after 1 p.m. Tuesday at Wilmer Hutchins High School. Police identified the suspect as 17-year-old Tracy Haynes Jr., who now faces charges of aggravated assault in connection with what officials are calling a mass shooting. The affidavit states that Haynes gained entry to the school with the assistance of another student who opened a door for him. Once inside, Haynes allegedly began firing indiscriminately. All 5 individuals injured in the incident were hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. The Dallas Independent School District, or DISD, canceled classes at Wilmer Hutchins High School for the remainder of the week and is providing mental health resources to students and staff affected by the incident. Authorities are continuing to examine how the shooter gained access to the building and are looking into the involvement of the student who allowed him in. The Dallas Police Department is urging anyone with information about the shooting to come forward. Officer Anthony Aldaco of the San Antonio Police Department has been suspended following allegations of misconduct. His suspension follows multiple incidents involving a woman experiencing a mental health crisis. Officer Aldaco allegedly attempted to kiss the woman during several unannounced visits to her home. These visits occurred both while he was on duty and off duty. Records indicate that Officer Aldaco made these visits without prior notification. The details surrounding these visits and the nature of his interactions with the women are currently under investigation. The San Antonio Police Department has not disclosed further details regarding the specific circumstances of the alleged misconduct. Officer Aldaco's suspension is effective immediately and will remain in place pending the outcome of the investigation. Details about the women's identity and specific allegations against Officer Aldaco has not been released. A federal judge has declared Google's digital advertising network an illegal monopoly, marking the second time within a year that the company has been found of monopolistic practices. The recent ruling delivered by a court in the United States accused Google of abusing its dominant position in the digital ad sector to suppress competition and maintain monopoly power. The court found Google liable for violating antitrust laws through its advertising technology services. The judge ruled that Google had willfully acquired and maintained monopoly power in the markets for publisher ad servers and ad exchanges, which facilitate transactions between buyers and sellers in online advertising. The U.S. Department of Justice and several state attorneys general have been pursuing cases against major tech companies, including Google, for allegedly engaging in anti-competitive behavior. Google has consistently defended its business practices, or arguing that its service benefit consumers and businesses alike. The company has stated that it competes fairly in the markets where it operates and provides valuable tools and services to its users despite these defenses. Google faces increasing legal challenges and regulatory scrutiny across the world. A federal judge on Friday, April 18, blocked the Trump administration from implementing a policy that would have removed the X gender marker option from U.S. passports affecting transgender, intersex, and non-binary individuals. The plaintiffs argued that the administration's proposed policy, which would have restricted passport gender options to male and female only, discriminated against individuals who do not identify strictly as either. Administration officials described the initiative as a return to identifying gender based solely on biological sex at birth. In court filings, the administration defended the policy, citing a need for uniformity and clarity in federal documents. However, advocacy groups, including the American Civil Liberties Union, argue that change would deny legal recognition to non-binary and transgender Americans. The judge's ruling temporarily halts the implementation of the policy while the case proceeds in federal court. The U.S. Department of State, which oversees passport issuance, has not yet commented on whether it will appeal the decision. Senate President Francis Escudero had issued a warning to the public on Thursday against individuals he described as prophets of darkness who portray a bleak future for the Philippines. Escudero emphasized that Holy Week should be a time for forgiveness, transformation, and unity. In a statement released during Holy Week, Escudero urged the public to use this period for self-reflection and to assess themselves as good Christians and responsible citizens. He expressed hope that Holy Week would serve as a time for change and unity across the nation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Thursday that China is supplying weapons to Russia and claimed that at least 155 Chinese nationals are supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine, including 2 alleged Chinese soldiers captured by Ukrainian forces in the eastern Donetsk region. Speaking at a press conference in Kyiv, Zelensky said his government possesses intelligence indicating that Chinese representatives are participating in the production of weapons on Russian territory. He did not provide further details or evidence during the briefing. The announcement marks a sharp escalation in tensions between Kyiv and Beijing. China has repeatedly claimed a neutral position in the conflict, though it has faced criticism from Ukraine and Western nations for its close economic and political ties with Moscow. Chinese officials have not yet responded on the allegations. If confirmed, the claims could intensify scrutiny of China's role in the conflict and complicate its diplomatic relationships with Western nations and Ukraine. The Philippine Consulate General, in coordination with Honorary Consul Roberto Romero and Filipino community organizations in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, conducted its first consular outreach mission for 2025 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on 12th to 13th of April 2025. A 6-member team from the Consulate General led by Consul Von Ryan Pangli provided services to over 180 Filipino nationals residing in Louisiana. Services rendered included passport processing, retention and reacquisition of Philippine citizenship or dual citizenship, notarial and civil registry services, and overseas voting pre-enrollment assistance for the upcoming Philippine national midterm elections. The Consulate General will continue to hold consular outreach missions in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, and New Mexico in the new coming months. Rafael Nadal, the retired 14-time French Open champion, will be honored with a tribute at the French Open in Paris on May 25, coinciding with the tournament's opening day. French Open director Amélie Mauresmo announced the tribute ceremony on Thursday, emphasizing Nadal's significant impact on the tournament's history. Mauresmo described the tribute as intended to be special and exceptional, aiming for it to be a surprise. Nadal, a 22-time Grand Slam champion, retired in November 2023, and French Open organizers will hold their tribute at Court Philippe Chatrier. Gia de Guzman is departing from the Denso Airy Bees after completing 2 seasons in the Japan SV League, as she will now concentrate on the upcoming international tournaments with Alas Pilipinas, including the 33rd Southeast Asian Games in Thailand. The Airy Bees made the announcement on Holy Wednesday, confirming that de Guzman will leave the team after the 2024 to 2025 SV League season. De Guzman expressed gratitude towards Denso, acknowledging the support from the staff, teammates, and fans. Denso Airy Bees thanked de Guzman for her contributions to the team. The 33rd Southeast Asian Games are set to take place in Thailand in 2025. De Guzman joined Denso Airy Bees 2 years ago. Her departure from the Japanese team opens a new chapter in her volleyball career. De Guzman's experience in the Japan SV League is expected to benefit Alas Pilipinas. Ryan Gosling will star in a new Star Wars film scheduled for release in May 2027, as announced by Walt Disney's Lucasfilm on April 17. The movie, titled Star Wars Starfighter, will occur 5 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, released in 2019. Lucasfilm revealed that the film will introduce an entirely new adventure featuring brand new characters. The narrative will explore a previously uncharted period in the Star Wars universe. This upcoming film will add to the expansive science fiction franchise created by George Lucas in 1977. Philippine superstar and national artist Nora Honor passed away at the age of 71 due to acute respiratory failure. Her son, actor Ian De Leon, confirmed during an interview. Acute respiratory failure occurs when the lungs cannot adequately oxygenate the blood, leading to inadequate oxygen supply to the body's organs. Honor's passing came after a period of declining health, and she was surrounded by family at the time of her death. Honor, widely regarded as one of the greatest Filipino entertainers, had a career spanning several decades in film, television, and music. Plans for Honor's wake and state funeral are scheduled for April 22, as announced by her family. As we brace ourselves for the upcoming weather changes, let's dive into what you can expect day by day. Whether you are planning outdoor activities or just preparing for the week, we've got you covered with the most accurate forecast. Stay tuned with us as we take a closer look at the weather patterns that will impact our region. Remember, here at Lawin Weekly News, we bring you the clearest skies to the stormiest forecasts.
Here is your Lawin Weekly News weather forecast in Houston, Texas. On April 20th, Sunday, the highest temperature is 87 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Expect warm conditions with intervals of clouds and sunshine, and an afternoon thunderstorm. On April 21st, Monday, the highest temperature is 86 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Anticipate partly sunny skies with a stray morning shower. On April 22nd, Tuesday, the highest temperature is 84 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Watch for strong thunderstorms throughout the day. On April 23rd, Wednesday, the highest temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Expect a strong morning thunderstorm followed by partly sunny conditions. On April 24th, Thursday, the highest temperature is 83 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Anticipate cloudy skies with a strong thunderstorm in spots during the afternoon. On April 25th, Friday, the highest temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. The day will be mostly cloudy with a touch of rain. On April 26th, Saturday, the highest temperature is 84 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Expect mostly cloudy skies with a chance of showers.
So those were the latest stories in Texas this week. I am Nesca Centina from Lawin Media Network. Have a great day.
Lawin Weekly News.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Lawin Weekly News.